Hey, welcome to the Small Business Made Simple podcast, brought to you by socialmediaandmarketing.com.au. Being in business is never easy, but it can be simple, or at least simpler. Join me, your host Jen Donovan, every week where we focus on marketing, social media, and working towards simplifying your business. You with me? Let's do this.
Dream it big, 'cause someone out there listening. Everyone's got a voice to give, and it's time I heard you whistling, 'cause there's no point at all, in dreaming small,
Hello there and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me on episode 16 of the Small Business Made Simple podcast. Just wondering, guys, have you actually joined my Facebook group called Like-Minded Business Owners? If you haven't headed over there yet, I would love you to join in. I know we all belong to lots of Facebook groups, but I'm hoping this one might be a little bit different for you and that you might go in there and get your burning questions or your marketing and social media challenges answered inside that group. So if you haven't joined Like-Minded Business Owners as yet, please head over there and join in the fun. I will be there and I will go live once a week and answer any questions that you might have. So please head over there and join. But guys, have you ever finished work after a really long day only to realize that tomorrow is like the workplace anniversary and it's a massive marketing opportunity and you've got nothing organized for your social media challenges? Maybe then a mad scramble happens where you can come up with hopefully a clever concept, create the necessary bits like a video or a quote card or even write a blog when you should be winding down and now you're winding up, just so you can ride the wave of birthday or anniversary fun. Or maybe even in some cases you throw your hands in the air and you go, I just got nothing, I'm going home. And you miss an awesome marketing opportunity. Well, I'm here on the podcast on episode 16 to tell you there is an alternative, and that's what we're going to talk about today. But first, of course, let's have the discovery of the week. So this week's discovery is an emoji keyboard. Yep, emojis. I think they're taking over the world. I think my friends will probably tell you that I use them just a little bit too much, but I love them. I think they're a great way of putting personality into our emails and into our social captions or blogs or wherever we write something on a keyboard. Branding is so much about tone and personality, and emojis just let us put a little bit more personality, a little bit more of ourselves in the written form. Now, I'm working on a Windows-based computer, guys, so I'm not quite sure how this will work if you have a Mac. So if you're in Mac land, you might need to do a little bit of experimenting on how you can get emojis on your keyboard. But for those of you who are Windows-based, if you click the Windows key, which on my keyboard is second to the left of your spacebar, so the Windows key and the full stop, and up will come an emoji keyboard. Now, I think this is pretty cool. I'm just a wee bit excited about it. And if you're a wee bit excited about that too, then there's every chance we are spirit animals. But you know, I think that despite the fact that I am in love with emojis, they are a really great way of stopping the scroll or stopping the thumbs, as my teenager was telling me the other day. You know, whether we're talking about people's social accounts or whether we're talking about people's inboxes, they're really busy places and we need to be doing whatever we can to stand out. Of course, episode 2 of the Small Business Podcast, my little discovery then was an emoji builder. So if you're interested in building your very own emoji, then maybe head back to episode 2 to get all the details on that. Anyway, guys, I hope you like that little discovery of an emoji keyboard and you can find some uses for it in your marketing. As always, guys, and a little bit obvious with this one, I know, but my discoveries are just that. I am no way affiliated with any of them, and hand on heart, I promise to tell you if I ever am. I just love them. I love the response I get from you guys that are listening in, and yeah, I just think they're really cool, and sometimes they can make our life just a little bit simpler. Of course, if you have a little discovery that you'd like me to share with my audience, please get in contact. You can email me, jen@jendonovan.com.au, or tag me, Small Business Made Simple, on Instagram. I would love to share what you use in your business that makes your life a little bit simpler. So, let's go back to what the alternative to a mad scramble, or for having absolutely nothing and missing a marketing opportunity because you weren't organized. So the alternative is a social media content calendar. Ta-da! So what is a content calendar? It's exactly what it sounds like. It's somewhere to plan and organize all your content for your social media platforms. It sounds like a little tiny miracle, doesn't it? I absolutely love my content calendar, and we're going to dive into the reasons why I think you need one and how to create one. But of course, don't panic too much. I've got a great template for you, and I'll share that with you, but we'll talk about more of that soon. So why do you need a content calendar? Well, let me give you 6 reasons why I think you need it. Reason number 1 is you'll never miss an important date ever again. If you take the time to put your key dates of your business inside a content calendar, then it gives you the opportunity then to plan that out. So of course you aren't scrambling for last minute ideas. You can actually put all your events and your campaigns and important dates in a calendar, and as well as that, lead time. So putting lead times into a calendar is something that I see so many small business owners forget to put into their calendar. So they might put Father's Day into their calendar if they're in retail, but they forget to put the lead time for the actual campaign and where things should be coming out. So that's a really important thing that you can do when it's on a calendar. And of course, if you're ever stuck for ideas, there's a great little website called daysoftheyear.com, and apparently there is a day set aside for practically anything in this world. So that's a really great little website for getting some content for days or for weeks that you're not quite sure what to do. Of course, my second reason is you'll always be organized. And I know that's a little bit obvious, right? But you'd be surprised, despite this very clear benefit, many businesses that I've worked with fail to use a content calendar. Not only will you be able to see what's on and when you're publishing and where and how and when, but you'll also get some really great insights into where your gaps are as well. And you can't underestimate this type of impact that planning can have on, of course, being more efficient inside your business. We all know that consistency is key, and having a social media calendar will highlight the consistency or the lack of. The third reason is you can collaborate easily with your team. If you've got a team and a lot of people or a few people on your team actually post on social media, then this can serve as a single resource for everyone, especially if it's put up in the cloud, like on Google Sheets or something like that. Your entire team can actually see what's going on. They can see where things are being published, what's being published, where, and along with any appropriate lead times that needs to be managed. Of course, you'll save time because if you are more organized, you will be more efficient. You'll also, the fifth reason is you'll be able to allocate resources more effectively rather than making last minute requests of your long suffering but very patient team members. You can assign tasks, you can plan things well in advance, and it actually gives time for research and creation, which of course, if you have time to create, then the level of quality of what you create will be higher. The sixth and the last reason why I think that you need a content creation calendar is because you'll get a deep understanding of what successful content in your business looks like. Having a content calendar with a test and measures section on it allows you to go back and make really informed decisions on what's working, what's not working, what times of the day or days of the week you're better off posting, what was a good piece of content, what engaged people, and of course it gives you the ability to look at your insights as well. You'll of course then be able to produce more of what your audience wants to see, or perhaps get a deeper understanding of who your audience actually is. So my gift to you, because this podcast is called the Small Business Made Simple podcast, and I believe clearly on making things a little bit simpler for us small business peeps, is I have a social media content calendar set up for you, ready to go together with the user guide. So if you want this fabulous little resource, head to socialmediaandmarketing.com.au/calendar. socialmediaandmarketing.com.au/calendar. Take some time to download it, take a look, start to follow the instructions, and dive into making your own social media calendar. So there are a few steps in making a social media calendar, but of course the benefits of which are pretty undeniable, as I've explained. So when you start, after you've downloaded it, and when you start your social media calendar, of course you always need to start where all good marketing starts, and that is knowing your target audience. So what's their biggest pain or their biggest goal that you actually have the expertise to solve? Then you can start researching content that will resonate with them. Look back over content that you've already created on your social channels, and maybe take time to, do a little bit of a critique on that. Ask yourself questions like, what content got the most likes, the most comments, the most shares, the most views, got the highest engagement, and of course, then start to do a bit of an audit on your existing content and ask yourself the following questions. Is the content usable? Is it still usable? Can it be updated if it's not usable? So it can be usable. Can it be repurposed, and can it be reused? Because if you've got content that you can update, repurpose, and reuse, then that's simply gold as far as filling out your social media content calendar goes. It's really hard to say content calendar. I'm not quite sure why I'm having so much trouble saying it, but I am. I do apologize. Once you've looked at your audience, their pain points, your past content, then you can start to look at what could be evergreen content. What could be content that you can use over and over again. And then you can start mapping out any major events that you have in your business. So thinking about when you're filling your content calendar up, after you've gone through and you've done a bit of an audit on your existing content, start to think about what holidays impact your business, big ones or small ones. Do you have product launches during the year? What sort of marketing campaigns do you do annually? What campaigns have you got in mind for doing this year that might be new? Of course, annual events or features. There any anniversaries or birthdays for your business that need to be on your calendar? And is there any charity events that you align yourself with in your business, such as, Daffodil Day or Jeans for Jeans Day or things like that? Again, if you're looking for inspiration, go back to daysoftheyear.com and see what you can find there. Of course, if you are a seasonal business, make sure you include that in your calendar as well. For instance, if you're a B2B company, so a business to business company, and there tends to be a bit of a lull at the end of December, mark this on your calendar so you remember to reduce the amount of content that's being published then, because your ideal audience are in wind down mode. They're not in wind up mode. And also you can save your best content for a time where it will be much higher traffic and you'll get a lot more engagement for it. So now you have the bare bones of your content calendar. And the next step, it is a biggie. It's, trying to decide on your content mix. So stick with me. Don't dismiss the idea just yet. I promise we will work through this. So when we're thinking about our content mix, we should be thinking about the rule of the 3 E's. So the rule of the 3 E's are you should always be entertaining, educating, or engaging your audience with value. If you're not doing one of these 3 things, then you really need to ask yourself, for what purpose are you sharing the content on social? Episode 13 was about the 3 E's. So if you'd like to learn more about that, then head back there and have a listen in. Just always remember that social media platforms are marketing platforms. They are not selling platforms. So you need to keep your selling to a minimum, and remember that even though you might not always be selling, you are always marketing. So when you're thinking about your content mix, make sure that you're not sell all the time. Make sure you're entertaining, educating, or engaging with value for most of the posts that you do. And remember that not all content needs to be original. It doesn't need to be always created by you or your team. Sometimes it is appropriate for you to share content created by someone else. Just always acknowledge it if it's not your content, because that's only fair. So now you have all the important dates on your calendar, and I do mean all. So the next step is a brainstorm for any new content. So start with a brainstorm for the coming month. Once you start using this calendar, maybe you can do a few months in advance, and it's a great idea, or even longer if you can forward think. But let's just think of a brainstorm for the coming month. Perhaps there's a theme that you can follow for the month. Perhaps it's like the campaign for winter or spring, or maybe the end of the financial year is coming up, or maybe it's a topic like leadership or something like that. Picking a theme for the month and then brainstorming content for that theme can make things so much easier. Choose the themes you want to run with and map that out onto your calendar too. So once you have themes to go along with your date, it's time to figure out your individual content pieces. If you have, say, big upcoming events on your calendar that you want to plan some content around, ensure that it's reflected in the themes of your brainstorming sessions. And of course, that you leave adequate time for this content to be created. After all, you can have the best Christmas themed campaign ready to go inside your head, but if you can't get it out until the end of January, no one's going to want to see it. So you need to make sure that things are timely on your calendar. Ideas for how to present your content are absolutely endless. In fact, after brainstorming for content creation ideas, I actually came up with 108 of them. Yep, 108. So if you haven't already downloaded this fabulous little resource, then go to 108social.com.au. So that's www.108social.com.au and download it there. The links, of course, are in the show notes if you'd rather head over there and have a look. The show notes, of course, are at socialmediaandmarketing.com.au. Not only will it inspire you to make some new content, but it might also seed some ideas on repurposing content that you already have as well. Plan your content, create your content, then schedule your content in your calendar. It's simple, right? Yeah. It is simple in theory, but in practice, it's much harder. But I promise you, with a little organization, you can maintain a social media content calendar that will really help yourself. Or if you have a team, it'll help your team become more efficient, and you'll create better quality content on time, every time. Not having a social media content calendar forces yourself or your team to operate in the dark. That inevitably leads to confusion, frustration, and a lack of focus. And that's no way to effectively create consistent content on social media, because we all know, again, that consistency is key. As small business owners, there's always so many things going on at any one time. Knowing your social posts are lined up, themed, ready to go, frees up not only time, but frees up your mental energy as well to concentrate on other tasks. In short, save your sanity and use my content calendar. Go to www.socialmediaandmarketing.com.au/calendar to get it there. I'd love to hear your thoughts on whether you already use a content calendar or whether today is going to be day one. Of course, my audience would love to hear about your experiences too. So again, head over and join my group, or if you're already a member of Like-Minded Business Owners, join the conversation there. Talk about, whether or not you use a social media content calendar. Share your experiences with the community. I'm sure that it will create some really great conversations. So that's it for episode 16, guys. I really hope you've been inspired to start thinking about your social content in a different way and start to think about it in a planning way, not just something you have to come up with at the last minute. Of course, I'll be back next Thursday with more marketing know-how and another great discovery. If you're liking this podcast or you're getting some value from this podcast, please head over and leave me a rating and review. Those things are like gold for podcasters like me, and it really helps others find this podcast and enjoy the free training and the tips and the tricks as well. It might be the best gift you ever give a stranger. I'm so glad to have you in my world as part of my tribe, listening in every week, and I'd love to catch up with you between podcasts as well. So either head to the Facebook group Like-Minded Business Owners, or of course leave me a DM on Instagram if you have any questions or comments that you would like some help with. So guys, I'll catch you next week, and remember, my small business peeps, as my opening song says, there's no point in dreaming small.
If you feel lonely, say it loud. There's no time like the present. Tell it like you feel it, say it proud. Be true and let us see you for the star that you are. No point in dreaming small.